There was a time when superhero movies were incredibly simple. A hero, a villain, a city in danger, and the hero wins. Everyone goes home happy. And honestly, there was nothing wrong with that. Because sometimes we don't watch superhero films to question life. Sometimes we just want to see someone do the impossible. But somewhere along the way, the stories quietly changed. Today, the biggest battle isn't always against an alien invasion or a man trying to destroy the world. Sometimes it's grief, sometimes it's loneliness, sometimes it's guilt, and sometimes the biggest enemy a superhero has to fight is the person staring back at them in the mirror. Maybe that's why these stories still matter, because they have stopped asking how do we save the world and started asking how do we save ourselves. When people talk about superhero movies today, one complaint keeps coming up. They are all the same. And yes, for a while that criticism felt justified. Too many films followed the exact same blueprint. A villain appears, a hero doubts themselves, a big CGI battle happens, and the city is saved. After a point, it stopped feeling exciting because we already knew what was going to happen. But something interesting happened after that. Instead of trying to make the explosions bigger, filmmakers started making the emotions bigger. The power stayed the same. The people behind those powers became more complicated. Take the recent direction of Marvel. Films like Thunderbolts aren't really asking us whether the heroes can defeat another powerful enemy. They are asking something much more uncomfortable. Can broken people ever become heroes? Can people who have failed, hurt others, or spent years running from themselves still deserve another chance? The action is still there, but the emotional conflict is what stays with you. And that's the difference. Because today, the costume isn't the character anymore. It's just the mask. Look at Spider-Man Brand New Day. Spider-Man has always been the friendly neighborhood hero. But underneath that suit, Peter Parker has always been a lonely kid trying to keep his life together. Every generation has connected with Spider-Man for a different reason. Not because he swings through New York. Because he struggles to pay rent. He loses people he loves. He makes mistakes. And he gets back up. His powers make him extraordinary. But his problems make him human. And that's why he has survived for more than 60 years now. Not because people want to become Spider-Man, but because people already feel like Peter Parker. So this shift isn't even limited to Hollywood. One of my favorite Indian examples is Bhavesh Joshi the Superhero. See, there's nothing particularly flashy about it. No aliens, no magical stones, no giant sky beams. Just a city filled with corruption. And one ordinary man deciding that enough is enough. The film understands something many superhero stories forget. A hero isn't someone who waits until they become powerful. A hero is someone who chooses to do something even when they know they'll probably lose. That idea feels surprisingly real. Because most of us aren't trying to save the planet. We are just trying to do the right thing in our own lives. And maybe that's its own kind of heroism. And then there is Joker. Whether you see Arthur Fleck as a victim, a villain, or something in between, the film barely feels like a comic book movie. It's less interested in superheroes and more interested in loneliness, neglect, and what happens when a person slowly loses every reason to hope. That's what makes it unsettling. The conflict isn't about stopping evil. It's about watching it being created. And suddenly, the line between hero and villain doesn't look as clear as it used to. That's another thing modern superhero stories have embraced. People aren't just good, people aren't just evil. Most of us exist somewhere in between. We make terrible mistakes, we make terrible decisions, and we regret them, but we try again. And our heroes have started reflecting that reality. Think about some of the most loved superhero stories of the last decade. Logan is about aging and regret. The Batman is about vengeance slowly turning into hope. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is about healing from trauma. Spider-Verse tells us that anyone can wear the mask, but everyone carries it differently. These films aren't abandoning superhero storytelling, they are just expanding it. Because being super has never really been the point, but being human is. And maybe that's why audiences still keep coming back. Not because every movie is perfect, far from it, some superhero films still rely too much on nostalgia. Some confuse spectacle for storytelling. And those criticisms are valid. But whenever someone says superhero films have nothing left to say, I can't completely agree. Because every generation finds new fears. And superhero films simply evolve to reflect those fears. The Superman of the 1970s represented hope. Batman often reflected fear after crime and social unrest. The X-Men became stories about discrimination and identity. And today, our biggest battles are often invisible. Mental health, isolation, and failure. The pressure to become someone. The fear that we are not enough. And naturally, our heroes have started fighting those battles too. And maybe that's why these films continue to resonate. Not because they are about people who can fly, but because they are about people trying not to fall. And at the end of the day, I don't think superhero films became popular because they let us escape reality. I think they became timeless because they help us understand reality. Every cape, every mask, and every impossible power has always been a metaphor for something deeply human. Responsibility, hope, sacrifice, identity, and forgiveness. And maybe that's why these stories never truly grow old. The costumes change, the technology improves, the universes become bigger, but the questions remain the same. Who am I? What kind of person do I want to become? And when life gives me every reason to stop trying, will I still choose to do the right thing? Because maybe that's what being a superhero was always about. Not saving the world, but reminding us that even ordinary people are capable of extraordinary choices. And honestly, that's a story I don't think we'll ever get tired of. That's it for today. Until next time, may the cinema be with you.